I'm Kai, and today I'm going to guide you through a somatic yoga practice to help bring more spaciousness and openness in your pelvis, hips, and in your joints. So you can begin by coming down onto your back, rolling your way down onto your back. We'll just take a couple moments here to connect in a body scan. You can rest your palms somewhere on your body, or even today try resting them on the front of your hip bones. And start by feeling the ground and the floor coming up to meet you. So this solidity and density of the earth, the ground, is coming up to support your entire back body. And is it possible to soften a little bit into that support, to rest back, to trust and give your weight into the support of the earth? Simultaneously, can you also feel the touch of the air and the space on your body? This blanket of space all around us. Opening up through your sense organs, starting to include sounds into your awareness. Allowing any sounds in your space or outside your space just to pass through. And as your hands rest onto the front of your hip bones, are there any sensations you can feel underneath your hands without having to do anything? Is there any movement, maybe pulsation, that you can feel underneath your hands? As your hands listen to your hip bones and your hip bones listen to your hands. Connecting into our bones like this has a great effect of slowing us down. Connecting us to the minerals that also we share with the earth, the rocks, the mountains, that move at a very slow, still pace. And the bones aren't nervous. They're very settled. So if we ever need to feel a little more settled, we can connect in with our bones and the structure of our body, skeletal structure of our body. You may begin to feel the gentle lapping of your breath like waves on a shore or wind on the ocean. Just noticing the patterns and textures of your breath today. As they flow, as your breath flows across the ocean of your being. Is it slow? Is it fast? Smooth or choppy? And then feeling simultaneously your whole body connected to the ground, the earth, the rocks, the minerals below. Your body also connected to the space, the air, and your breath within and without. And the fluid movement of the body you might feel underneath your hands. And the generative warmth of your heart and your belly, like the sun in your body. And then as you're ready, gently rocking your head side to side, allowing your eyes to gradually open if they were closed. And interlacing your palms, let's stretch the palms overhead, stretch the legs out, squeezing all your muscles towards your bones, stretching and reaching through palms and toes, opposite directions. And then releasing and hugging your knees in towards your chest and giving yourself a gentle massage across your low back, rolling side to side or making small circles with your knees. Once you've taken a few circles in one direction, switching directions. And then wrapping your arms around your knees, holding one side of your wrist with your hand so that the knees snuggling close to your chest and your torso. Lengthening and opening through your low back and back body. Low back presses into the floor. Emptying out your breath completely. Maybe a sigh. You can do that as many times as it feels good to release any extra tension from your body. Sort of waking up a pleasure response as we exhale and touch in a little bit deeper with ourselves. And then you can allow your feet to drop down onto the floor a little bit wider than hip distance. So if you're on a mat, towards the outer edges of your mat. And then we'll windshield wiper the knees so you can allow your knees to drop over to the right. Your left knee points a little bit on the diagonal towards the right corner of your mat, lower right corner. And then over to the left. Right knee points a little bit down on that diagonal. Hands rest where they're comfortable. They could be out to your sides or resting on your body. So we're working with an internal and external rotation of our legs simultaneously through the hips. One more time, side to side, just like that. Inhale, center. Exhale, over. And the knees can come back up through center, pointing up towards the sky, and feet can come in a little bit here. We'll just begin by lifting the toes, so lifting your toes off the floor. Just your toes. And then see if when you lift your toes, you can place them one by one back down on the floor. Baby toe through to finally your big toe. And try it in the other direction. Lift your toes and try and lower your big toe first, and then ripple through to your baby toe. Then try lifting just your big toes off the floor, and just the other 4 toes. Sensing in. You can just play a couple times with any kind of rippling, lifting and lowering of your toes. Some sensory feedback through the feet and toes. And then from here, you can lift both legs up towards the sky, and we'll point and flex the feet. So beginning to articulate into your ankle joints. The toes point away from you, and toes draw towards you. And then making some circles with your ankles. See if you can take these circles right from the center of your ankle joint. Noticing how this feels from one side to another. Switch directions. And see if you can make slow, smooth circles from your ankles. Notice any other parts of your body that might be tensing, your shoulders or your neck or your face, and see if you can soften. And breathe. Nice. And then we'll move this into our knees. So with your knees directly over your hips, you can begin to bend and straighten your legs. Heels pressed towards the sky. Taking this movement from your knees. You can start to imagine your joints warm and filled with honey-like serum, warm fluid. About 5 more, bending and straightening the legs, beginning to bring circulation between our hips and our feet. Nice. And then from here, you can allow your feet to drop down onto the floor, and we'll begin some hip circles. So you can start with your right knee drawing in towards your chest. Your left leg can lengthen out onto the floor, and your knee can draw up towards your right armpit. Softening and wading through your left thigh and hip crease. And then either holding the knee or allowing the knee to draw circles on its own. So your knee and hip can begin to circle in one direction and then switch direction when you're ready, circle in the opposite direction. Other leg stays relaxed. So articulating this movement from your hip socket. Noticing any glitchy parts and not rushing through them, just smoothly drawing sort of the shape of a full moon with your knee. Bringing that luminous glow of the moon sensation into your hip socket. And then from here, bending your left knee and resting your right ankle onto your left thigh just above your knee. You can stay here if you just like to be still and rest, or we'll flow a little bit with this. So you can inhale, the left thigh draws towards you, and exhale, the left foot lands back on the floor. Inhale, squeeze, exhale, lower. If you'd like, you can use your hands to help draw your thigh towards you, or you could use a strap if that's easier around the back of your left thigh to hold. Strap, a belt, a scarf, anything like that would work. And one more like that. And we'll keep the left foot off the floor and begin to draw some circles in the air with our knees. Nice fluid breath, circular breath. Inhale, flows into your exhale, switch directions. Exhale, flows into your inhale. Okay, and then you can lower your left leg down onto the floor. Let your right foot rest on your left lower thigh, arms out to your sides, and we'll begin a rolling twist here. So the knee drops over towards the floor, and inhale back up. Exhale, lower. You can use your hand. Inhale back up. You can gaze towards your right fingertips, the opposite direction of your knee. And we'll go for one more like that. This time you might want to pause, rest your left hand on your right thigh, gaze towards your right fingertips. Relaxing your shoulders back and down for a couple more breaths here. Inhale back through center, and from here we will take the right knee out to the right, and then supporting your leg, you can begin to bend and straighten your right leg, and you might need to rebend your left knee here to keep the back of your pelvis evenly rooted and dropping into the floor. Or bending and straightening, right leg out on the diagonal to the right, opening from fascia tissues from your pelvis all the way down to your heel and foot. And then we're going to begin what's called passing the leg. So you can come back into that twist where the foot was resting on the thigh, and then inhale and roll back to stretching out the leg and twisting. So that left leg could be straight or bent for this. Inhale, opening. I'm going to choose to straighten my left leg, and then you could also choose to keep your right leg straight as you roll into your twist. So you could pass the right leg straight, or keep the right knee bent and pass it back and forth. Let's go for one more like that. And then you can roll again onto your back, knees bent. Let your knees fall towards one another. Take a pause just to notice how your body feels, left to right side to left side. Any differences? Maybe one knee feels higher or one hip feels more dropped. Just noticing. And then we'll move through that sequence on our left side. So you can bring your left knee in towards your chest. You can extend your right leg if you'd like. Hug that knee up towards your left armpit. Imagine a sandbag or a weight on your right thigh, right hip crease. A nice opening for your psoas muscle. And then we'll take our knee in that circular motion, tracing the outer edges of a full moon. And that full moon in the luminosity, the light of the full moon in your hip socket. Moving smoothly, slowly, articulating from your hip joint. And when you're ready, switching directions. Bending your right knee, left ankle rests on your right lower thigh. Pausing here or beginning to give your left shin a ride on your right thigh. Exhale, thigh draws in. Inhale, lower the foot back down. Couple more just like that. You might choose to pause for a few moments here. And when you're ready, you can begin the double knee circles in this position, in the figure 4 position. Switching directions when you're ready. And then right leg goes long. We have our left foot on our right thigh, and we're beginning to twist and lift. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Maybe right hand rests on your top thigh as you spiral and twist through your torso, your spine, your neck, your head. And on this one, we are going to bring the left knee out to the left and extend the left leg. So again, this right knee might need to bend for a counterbalance. I'm going to keep mine straight. Extending and straightening your left leg, left foot away from you. Supporting that leg wherever it feels good. And then we'll begin that same movement we did on the other side of passing the leg. So you could pass with a bent knee into your twist and then into the opening, maybe with a leg stretch. Or maybe just keeping the knee bent as you pass it side to side. Or maybe keeping your whole leg outstretched as you pass it side to side. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Last one. Nice. And then we'll hug both knees in towards the chest. Maybe clasp one wrist. Give your back a little massage. Pause and just notice how you're feeling within. Any warmth or tingling. Maybe parts of your body that feel more relaxed or dropped into the ground. Heavy into the floor. And from here, we'll do some leg swings. So just further opening up through our hip socket. You can start with your right leg extending towards your chest or your torso and then tapping your toe down onto the floor. The toe taps and swing, almost like a sort of kicking a soccer ball. There's a little bit of rebound at the top. Moving with your breath and just in your range of comfort. So we're not pushing. We're finding a rhythmic pattern. When we bring in rhythm, our mind, our linear mind can relax and we can settle a little more into this flow state. Sort of aligning with the natural flow of life within us. So finding that rhythm. And then switching sides. You can pause if you want just a moment to notice the difference between right leg, left leg. And when you're ready, left side. Keep a little flexion through your left heel foot, so the heel is pressing towards the sky. Allowing your breath to flow freely here. Your whole thigh is moving towards your torso, towards your belly. Couple more times. and then rest. Feet on the floor. Pause for a moment here. Notice how you feel. We're going to bring some articulation through the center of our body. So you can begin by bringing your hands just behind your head interlaced. And as you exhale, you can bring your elbows together and curl your crown towards your tail, and you're tucking your tail towards your belly button, towards your crown. And then elbows come wide. Inhale, we lift through the low back. So arch through your low back. Chin may drop down towards your chest. Or lift slightly. Let's actually, with this arch, lift the chin. Up and back. And then exhale as you round and curl, chin towards your chest. And then inhale. Pressing your tailbone sacrum into the floor, arching through your low back, lifting your gaze and chin up and back. And then exhale, curling and rounding tailbone towards crown. So you could stay with this variation, keeping your feet on the floor, or the next time you curl up, you could lift your knees towards your head and your head towards your knees. Inhale, lower, arch, exhale, round, flexion, curl through your back. And if you're lifting your feet, you could take the next variation where you keep your elbows hugging together and you could extend your legs as you curl. Inhale, hover the heels just off the floor as you lower your head. Exhale, legs swing towards your head as you curl. Moving with your breath, finding that fluid rhythm-like quality through your movement, and a balance of effort and ease. So like a 70% effort. We're not straining, allowing the force and energy to come from the inside out. That's your breath and your intention to move rhythmically. Last one in whatever variation you're doing. Pause for a moment, find your breath. And extending both legs out, you can hug your knee in towards your chest one more time. And then you can take a hold of the over top of your ankle to the outside of your ankle and draw your right ankle towards your left hip bone. So sort of like a supine pigeon pose here. Right knee pointing towards your right shoulder. Couple more breaths here. See if you can soften just a little bit more anywhere in your body that you're holding. And then soften even just a little bit more. And then we'll switch sides so your left knee can hug in. Take a hold of the outside of your left ankle with your right hand. Draw your left foot, left heel over towards your right front of your right hip. And then you can release your left leg down. We'll bring the soles of the feet together, and you can allow your knees to fall open wide to a wide butterfly. You can reach your arms up overhead on the diagonal if that feels good. You might need to prop under your knees with pillows if this feels like too much strain into your groin muscles. We'll just pause for a moment here. Yeah, so we're going to have the arms in a V shape and internally rotate your arms so that your palms face towards the floor. And then sliding your arms down. Sorry, that was an external rotation. So imagine your bicep externally rotating so that your palms face the floor. Your thumb should be facing outwards. And then sliding your arms down, thighs gather together, and we're going to internally rotate the shoulders and the arms, biceps and thumbs. And drop your chin towards your chest and round your back here. And then inhale, knees open, sliding the arms into a V shape overhead and externally rotating. And then knees gather together and we're internally rotating, squeezing between the shoulder blades, or between your shoulders and your pecs. Thumbs point down one last time, externally rotating your arms, sweep up, knees open. Nice deep breath here. Maybe a little arch through your low back and your chin lifts. And then arms come down, tucking your tail, chin to chest. Internally rotate with the arms. And we'll finish here, so you can allow your legs to stretch out. If you prefer to roll to your side and come up to seated, and take a gentle shavasana, either lying down or seated final relaxation. Really just to notice how your body feels now. To pause and listen to the stillness. Behind the sound, behind the movement, that ever-present stillness at our center. The center of our being aligned with the center of the earth. And your heart center aligned with the heart center of the earth. And as you're ready, palms can float together in front of your chest heart area. Offering gratitude for this beautiful river of life within that is one and the same with the river of life all around in nature. Gratitude for this connection with our body and the body of the earth. Namaste.